Hello everyone, welcome back to Biophilia, your all-time study mate. Today we are going to continue the chapter of chemical coordination and integration with its part 6 about pineal gland and thymus gland. If you like this video and get some help, then don't forget to let us know by your like, share and subscribe to our amazing channel Biophilia. So let us understand this in a different way. So these are the things that you can relate to और ये देख के आपको ऐसे लगेगा कि हाँ ये असली ज़िंदगी में होता है, and that will help you to understand the functioning of this next gland in a very better way. So the first thing that you can relate is working on mobiles and laptops on the long run because of online classes or different things. You are going to see that you are going to sleep at late night. So देर रात तक जागते रहोगे, मोबाइल की स्क्रीन की लाइट चालू रहेगी, and because of that you could not sleep until long hours, and because of that सुबह जल्दी नहीं उठ पा रहे हो. So that light that is coming, the rays that are coming into your eyes are going to be the topic of discussion in our next gland. So how does that affect your sleep for the next 2 or 3 hours is going to be, or what is going to happen to that. So the next thing that you can relate is जब ये बहुत देर रात तक मोबाइल की लाइट चालू रही, आपको देर रात तक नींद नहीं आई, and the next morning when you have to study, what is the next thing? Your mother comes and opens up the curtain खोल दिए, लाइट अंदर आई एंड यू स्टार्ट टू वेक अप. दैट इज़ द थिंग दैट इज़ गोइंग टू बी अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि ये लाइट जब आती है आँखों में रात को तब भी नींद नहीं आती है, और सुबह पर्दे खुल जाने पे भी नींद नहीं आती है. सो व्हाट इज़ द इफ़ेक्ट ऑफ द लाइट दैट हैपन्स अबाउट योर स्लीप. सो जब डार्कनेस है तब आपको नींद आती है, लाइट लगने पर नींद नहीं आती है. सो दिस इज़ समथिंग दैट योर बॉडी फंक्शंस ऑन टू द स्लीप एंड लाइट. So what is the relation about it? Let us understand in this gland about next. So the pineal gland is going to be the gland that is functioning about your sleep. So pineal gland, it is also called as epiphysis. This epiphysis is going to be located on the dorsal side of the forebrain, and it is a small rounded reddish structure that is called as pineal body, जो मेजर पार्ट होगा, और वहाँ पे एक पीनियल स्टॉक भी होगा. सो दैट इज गोइंग टू मेक अप योर एंटायर पीनियल gland. So this is going to secrete a hormone that is called as melatonin. Now this melatonin is going to be very important because as we discussed अभी कि light और sleep का जो relation है that is going to be maintained by this melatonin. So melatonin is going to be an important functional role for regulation of 24-hour diurnal rhythm of our body. So it is like a biological clock जो आपको बताएगा कि आपको कब सोना है, आपको कब जागना है, आपको कब क्या करना है. How your activities are going to be throughout the day is going to be controlled by the melatonin hormone. So what is going to be the case? Melatonin जो release होता है from the pineal gland, it is going to rise in the evening. So जैसे अंधेरा बढ़ना शुरू होगा, एज द डार्कनेस इज गोइंग टू इंक्रीज, रात की अंधेरी में पीनियल ग्लैंड को अच्छा लगता है बाहर सैर करना, और सैर करते टाइम क्या रिलीज होता है? मेलाटोनिन सिक्रीशन इज गोइंग टू इंक्रीज. सो एज द डार्कनेस इंक्रीजेस, मेलाटोनिन सिक्रीशन इंक्रीजेस and your sleep is going to increase, or it is going to be induced. So this is a little thing that you can remember for your understanding about lightness and the sleep that is going to be understood here. So जैसे ही evening time आएगा, the melatonin secretion is going to rise slowly and steadily, and throughout the night, that is about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the early morning, you are going to get your deep sleep time. because वहाँ पे you are going to have the extreme levels of melatonin, and during the noon, that is 12 बजे के धूप में जब बहुत ज़्यादा उजाला है बाहर, you will not feel sleepy. Why? Because it is going to drop, and as the melatonin secretion drops, your sleep levels are going to decrease, and because of that you are going to be very sleepy during night, that is maximum concentration time, और minimum sleepy during noon because वहाँ पे secretion कम होगा. So here is the graph that is going to help you to understand the time of the day on the x-axis and the amount of secretion. So graph, so you can understand by the evening time, that is about from 8 o'clock, your pineal gland will start secreting melatonin, और melatonin के secretion धीरे धीरे बढ़ती जाएगी, and about 1:30 2 o'clock के आसपास you will start to feel in deep sleep, because the melatonin secretion will reach its peak, and slowly and steadily as the time will pass by, 7 बजने के आसपास जब sunrise is completed, your melatonin secretions will decline and the day will start, because now the secretions have reduced, now you will start to wake up. So this is the same thing that happens जब आपको बहुत देर तक मोबाइल की लाइट चालू रहती है, तब the pineal gland understands that there is going to be light, and because of light the secretions will be low, because melatonin secrete करने के लिए क्या चाहिए, it needs darkness, and because of that when melatonin is not released you will not feel sleepy. And the same thing happens in the early morning when the curtains are opened, there is light, that means जब आँखों में से रोशनी अंदर जाएगी, आँखों से जब सिग्नल्स पहुँचते हैं ब्रेन के पास कि now the light has been sensed by the eyes, the optic nerve carries the signal up till the pineal gland to understand the pineal gland to stop the secretions of melatonin, to recognize now it's the daytime, melatonin secretions to decrease and the person will wake up. So light is going to reduce the melatonin formation, and because of that it is going to maintain the normal rhythm of sleep wake cycle. So sleep wake cycle, सोना और जागना कौन कंट्रोल करेगा, it will be controlled because of the hormonal secretion coming from the pineal gland. So sometimes it is also called as sleep hormone. So melatonin, because it is going to help in sleep wake cycle, it is called as sleep hormone. And some people who are who cannot sleep properly or who have the problem of insomnia, that is they cannot sleep sound, what is going to be done for them, they are going to supply on some medicine which will be based on the melatonin drug. So melatonin जो function करता है कि it is going to help you to sleep, so insomnia patients will also be given some sort of melatonin hormone, and that will help them to sleep in peacefully, they can sleep during night time as well. So because of the sleep hormone, that is melatonin, the person will start to feel drowsy, and when the release stops the person will start energetic and he will wake up. So melatonin, even on the sleep-wake cycle, instead of that it will also influence on the metabolism कि आपकी body कितना function कर रही है, because once you are awake you are going to function more, when you are sleepy your body will rest, उसका metabolism rate कम हो जाएगा. So all that increase and decrease will be influenced because of melatonin hormone. The body temperature will also be dependent on the secretion of melatonin, because once you are awake your metabolism is high, and metabolism high leads to higher body temperature. Then pigmentation of skin is also somewhere dependent on melatonin. The menstrual cycle in females also depends on the availability of light, because melatonin secretion is going to be dependent on the light availability. And the defense capability, that is your immune system, is also going to relate onto the secretions of melatonin. So in a way you can also call that melatonin is going to be acting as a biological clock, and instead of biological clock आपको और एक नाम पूछा जा सकता है, that is circadian cycle or circadian rhythm. So circadian rhythm or circadian cycle, if this word is related into your questions, then what is going to be your thinking capacity? It is going to be coming onto the melatonin released by the pineal gland. So one more thing you need to understand is that the people who go blind from the birth, जो बर्थ लेते ही साथ ब्लाइंड होते हैं, these people have never sensed light. They don't know how the light is, their brain doesn't know what to sense light about. So in those people they are going to attain their puberty at a much earlier stage. They will get mature at an earlier stage, because there is no inhibitory effect of melatonin. Melatonin is going to keep, it will not be secreted because darkness है, The person who is blind doesn't sense light, and it feels that the brain senses it, that every time it is darkness melatonin secrete hote rahega, and there will be no inhibitory effect, and because of that the puberty will be earlier in the people who are blind from their birth. So that can be one thing to remember about the secretions from melatonin. The next gland we see in this video is going to be about the thymus gland. So thymus gland जो है, it is going to be located near the heart and the aorta. This gland is going to be a lobular structure which is going to play role in the development of immune system. So immune system which is going to attack against the microbe. So your attacking system is going to be your immune system, your frontline soldiers जैसे country के होते हैं. Your soldiers are nothing but coming from the immune system. So the primary lymphoid organ is going to be the thymus. And why is it called so? Because there is going to be development and maturation of T lymphocytes occurring in this gland. So T lymphocytes here, the word is T, so you can remember T is for thymus. So T lymphocytes are going to mature and develop into thymus. So thymus is also going to help in accelerating the cell division. It is going to help in developing resistance to infections and attaining sexual maturity. So these are some of the functions that the thymus has to do other than acting as a primary lymphoid organ. So about the primary lymphoid organ or secondary lymphoid organ, you can go and check out a 12th standard video which is going to be about human health and disease. So human health and disease is going to be a chapter wherein you can understand in detail about the primary and the secondary lymphoid organs. So still it is not a part of class 11, but still you can go and understand the concept about these in much more detail. So again, not to tell you, the link will be provided down in the description box. You can finally go and check it out as well. So thymus is going to have two parts. जो outer cortex होगा, it is going to be densely packed by the cells called as thymocytes, whereas the inner medulla is going to have connective tissue and with the fewer lymphoid cells. So outer cortex के पास thymocytes होंगे, whereas the inner is going to have lymphoid cells, and all these, that is the walls of flattened epithelial cells, which are called as heart cells, corpuscles. So these is an important point to remember, because if this name is going to appear into your questions or some point, your brain should start functioning to think about thymus. So these cells are, these corpuscles will also be scattered in the medulla. So here you can see in the images the location of thymus gland in the first figure, which is going to be near the heart and aorta, and in the lower one you can see the histological markings about the cortex. So this part is going to be the outer cortex, which is densely packed. So you can see वहाँ पे जो pink pigmentation है वो बहुत ज़्यादा dense है, वो बहुत ज़्यादा dark है, because there the cells are more. Whereas you can see in the medulla part, which is on the inner side, it has loose connective tissue kind of thing. So the denseness of the cells or the pink color is going to be lesser, whereas the heart cell corpuscles are going to be present, which will be located here and there in the medulla, and these are going to be only present in the thymus gland. So you should remember about them and connect it to the thymus thinking. The next we think is thymus is, as we are studying it in the endocrine system as an endocrine gland. So ये क्या release करेगा? It is going to release hormones called as thymosin. So this hormone called as thymosin is going to do what? It is going to help in differentiation of T cells, and these T cells, once get differentiated, they will promote the production of antibodies from the B lymphocytes. and these B lymphocytes will be producing antibodies. The antibodies will fight against the infection, providing you with the humoral immunity. So again, humoral immunity क्या होता है, antibodies कैसे secrete होते हैं from lymphocytes, all this can be understood in the part of human health and disease. Though it is a part of class 12, you can study it in class 11 and get the understanding in much more better way. So do check out the video on it and you will understand entire functioning, because I had told you a trick story. एक trick story वहाँ पे we had discussed, and that will help you to remember each and everything in much more better way. So this will help you to understand about the functioning of thymus as well as T cells, B lymphocytes, humoral immunity, सब clear हो जाएगा. So after viewing this video, you will also be superior than your friends, because you know much more about the humoral immunity as well. So coming back to the thymus gland, it is been providing immunity, and it is the major source. So because of that, it will also be called as throne of immunity. So throne of immunity या ट्रेनिंग स्कूल ऑफ टी lymphocytes अगर नेम आता है, ये दो किसके रिलेटेड है, इट इज गोइंग टू बी रिगार्डिंग योर thymus gland. So thymus gland, since it is T and T for T lymphocytes, it is also T, that is training school, or T for throne of immunity. So हर जगह पे T आ रहा है, and that is going to help you to remember. That is your T trick. What is it? It is your T trick to remember about throne of immunity, training school of T lymphocytes, which is related to thymus gland. So thymus is going to be not permanent in size, वो धीरे धीरे size decrease होगी, and size decrease कब होगी, once you are going to degenerate, that is the people who are old, who have crossed their certain age, they are going to be having lesser immunity. Older people को ज़्यादा infections क्यों होते हैं, because the thymus is going to degenerate, and once the thymus starts to degenerate after certain period of time, there is going to be lesser thymosins, and because of lesser thymosins, the differentiation of T cells and production of antibodies, all those is going to be depleted, it is going to get decreased, and because of that, chances of infections in older people is being more. So here you can see about how the size of thymus is going to differ from a newborn to a 10 years old, 25 years old, 50 years old, and at 70. Only some part of the thymus gland will be left out as scarce tissue parts. So because of that, the secretion of hormone decreases, and eventually the immunity is going to be compromised. So with this, we have come to the end of the understanding about our two short glands, that was about pineal and thymus. जो भी ये छोटे छोटे से glands है, they are going to perform a very important role in our body, because these hormones are going to help you to wake and sleep, and second thing, it is going to give you immunity. So though being small in our videos, they are going to play a very important role in our body, so it becomes very important for us to understand them in detail. So that was all the things that I could tell you about these glands. And if you like this video, then do give a thumbs up, share it to your friends, and even subscribe to our channel so you can be a part of it and see more and more videos without any delay. So that till next time we come up with the next gland about this chapter, keep studying, keep smiling. Bye bye everyone. Thank you.